Hey everyone! Today's topic is all about color. Color is extremely important because even a little change in the color code can evoke a completely different feel, presenting a different message to the audience. So rather than boring you with things like what are primary, secondary colors, or warm and cool colors, I will assume you all have an elementary school level of knowledge in this area already. So as a refresher, I'll put several graphics on the screen right here. Familiar with color psychology as well. Remember that different shades, tones, and tints of the same hue could change the meaning drastically, like a bright sky blue versus a deep navy. One is playful while the other is professional. As a refresher, shade is a mixture of hue and a black, tint is when you add white, and tone is produced when you add gray. Saturation refers to the hue's intensity. Now, here's a quick presentation on color psychology. How are color schemes created? The four commonly used are complementary colors, analogous colors, monochromatic colors, and triadic color schemes. The contrast between complementary colors make graphics very striking, but should only be used sparingly when you want something to stand out because they tend to tire the eyes. Analogous colors are located next to each other on the color wheel. It usually involves an accented color paired with less dominating supporting colors. Don't confuse it with monochromatic colors, which are composed of tints, tones, and shades of a single hue. Lastly, triadic color schemes are derived from an equilateral triangle on the color wheel. They tend to be very bright and dynamic, as the harmony between the three colors make each element pop. You may be asking, how do I choose a color palette that works well together? There's no simple answer to that, and every designer has a different approach, so I will share mine. First, I consider the context, which is basically asking myself, what is the vibe of this piece? Is it floral, business, childish, environmentally conscious, summery, or serious? Then, following the guidance of color psychology, I'll start with one color I like that matches the mood, and then I'll build a palette around it. Since monochromes are the most foolproof, I use Canva's color tool to slide around and find new colors, and note how the saturation decreases as you go down. Make sure the colors are distinguishable enough from each other. However, monochrome can sometimes be boring, so depending on the context, I'll choose several colors that complement the dominant color, whether it is triadic, analogous, or complementary. For example, if I want a springtime approach, automatically I'm thinking of pastel colors or tinted hues like pastel blue, pink, and yellow. On the other hand, if I want a professional vibe, I'll go for a monochromatic gray palette with one bold color like a rich purple or a canary yellow. Remember not to go overboard with the number of colors. I like to limit myself to 4 to 5, one of which is usually a neutral color, which is an extremely pale or dark shade. For the pale color, if I want something warmer, I'll choose an off-white or light beige, but if I prefer something cooler, I stick with a simple gray. For the dark color, I use monochromes again, meaning if the main color is green, I'll select a dark green gray. Sometimes playing around with Canva's color selector isn't enough, which is why I strongly recommend heading to this website, which is an amazing color scheme generator that can find you the perfect palette with a few clicks of your spacebar. Another good source of inspiration is to take a photo you're planning on using or feel like goes well with the graphic and then building a palette around it. Canva has a built-in feature that pre-selects some of the key colors, which is very convenient. I hope this gives you a better idea on what kind of possible color combinations you can explore, rather than a simple monochromatic palette. Take risks and experiment. What I love about graphic designing is that you can always go back and change it. Lastly, how do you assign which elements get which color? Always think of what you want the reader to focus on, or what you want to stand out the most. This is often the title, so make sure there's plenty of contrast between the title and the background, like white and one color, or complementary colors. For less important elements, I choose colors with less saturation, like so. And that's about it. There's no definite guide on how to choose color combinations that work. The more you do it, the better sense you'll have, so trust your intuition and your eyes. Next week, I'll be discussing how to pick the right fonts, which is a bit more complicated than you may think, so I'll see you then. Bye!